Hello everyone, this is Nintendo Gal 55 again, and, well, after yet again that awesome video by Sonic Shadow Lover 13, who talked about her collection of the Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise, which I already mentioned in my last video where I shared my fan art, but today I decided to share with you guys something a little more different. My collection of Stephen King novels that I have right now. I have quite a lot. The ones that you see here on the camera right now, actually is not all of them, but since I'm doing this in a couple of segments, I didn't want to overcrowd everything and I didn't have enough room. So to begin, I'm just going to show you what I have right here and talk a bit about them and if I've read them or not, that kind of thing. Alright, so let's begin. Alright, I'll just start over here. First off, we've got Pet Sematery. Yeah, the most frightening book Stephen King has ever written. That's quite debatable, I must say, but, whatever. Anyway, so Pet Sematery. I did read this, actually. I have yet to read it again. I think I really should. I also saw the movie adaptation of it, and also it was actually a very, very good adaptation. I mean, there were some little problems with it. It wasn't perfect, but it was actually very good. And the fact that Stephen King wrote it himself, that was, yeah, I think that really, really helped because it really did capture a lot of what made the book really good. And my favorite character in the book, Judd, he was portrayed really well in the movie, and like in the book, I loved him immediately. He is my favorite character. I always get sad when he's killed off. I also saw a retrospective of it on thatguywiththeglasses.com by Dena, who has her film den and game den thing, and she did a retrospective on Pet Sematery, and she pretty much sums it up a lot better than I can. So if you would like to check it out, I left a link in the description. Alright, moving on. Let's see. Next up, here is a collection book of the Bachman books. Or some of them, I think. I don't know how many there are in total, but yeah, this I got recently too. So yeah, there's a bunch of skulls there, and there's the title and everything, with an introduction by the author, Why I Was Bachman. Huh. I read one about that in one of his other books, The Long Walk. Anyway, so yeah, it has, let's see, Rage, The Long Walk, Roadwork, and The Running Man. Okay, I don't think that's all of them, but yeah, this is a book of the collection of the Bachman books. It's very thick, obviously. Okay, that's that. I haven't read it yet, so, well, I have read one of them, but not in that book in particular. That was The Long Walk. We'll get to that in a minute. Next is Cujo. This is one of the alternative covers of it. Yeah, I have read this one at least 3 or 4 times. It's actually very short, and I don't know, I have a morbid fascination with it. It's a very, very good book, and I did see the movie adaptation. It was okay. Definitely got the job done. And left in very important plot points, even if it was kind of hard for me to watch. I am a huge dog lover. Yeah, it's funny. This is the Stephen King book I have read the most so far, I believe. Aside from probably, yeah, I think Rose Madder. I don't know. So yeah, I've read this 3 or 4 times. Not this cover. I actually have an alternative copy right here. Different cover. Yeah. I've read that one before. This one I just, I don't know how I got this one, but I kind of like the cover better. It was a bit less disturbing than the other. Okay, so that's enough of that one. Okay, here we have Night Shift. I'll have to definitely give it a read sometime, right? Yeah, that's that one. Okay. I also have Thinner. It's also one of his Bachman books. And I haven't read it yet. I actually got it when I was volunteering at a bookstore, actually. The owner, as compensation for my volunteer work, he let me take free books. The original deal was that I just got them half off, but no, he gave it to me for free. So this is one of the ones I picked because I'm a Stephen King buff, and I really wanted to have a collection, and the summary alone got my attention. So I'll be reading that soon, I hope. Alright, next is Insomnia. That's a pretty creepy cover, I gotta say. I really love the sunset look of it, and the the silhouette along it from it. I really love that. I just have a thing for sunsets, I guess. Yeah, this summer really caught my attention as well. I haven't read it yet, so I guess we'll see. Next up is this right here. I also got this at the used bookstore that I volunteered at, 4 Past Midnight. Book of short stories, which contain, let's see. Ah yes, here we go. It contains The Langoliers. I'll talk about that in a minute. Secret Window, Secret Garden. We all know Secret Window was made a movie with Johnny Depp. In fact, one of the locations where they shot it at, I actually have relatives who live near there, and they were talking about it one time. Okay, so yes, Secret Window, Secret Garden, The Library Policeman, and The Sundog. So yeah, actually, I had seen The Langoliers, the miniseries adaptation, and I honestly really liked it. I really liked it. Yes, even despite the crappy CGI, but I'm willing to bet it was probably just because they were on a low budget. I don't know. That's just what I thought. But yeah, I really liked the movie adaptation, and when I found it was in the Book of Short Stories 4 Past Midnight, right here, I was persuaded to buy it, and I read the story itself. And I'm actually very amazed because the adaptation was actually very faithful. Some of the dialogue was literally word for word, and I was quite impressed. So yeah, I got to see the adaptation of it and read it as well. I haven't read the other stuff in this yet, so we'll get to that sometime very soon. Next up is It. You know, the infamous It, about the monster clown. This is one of the standard Stephen King cover models, book models, I guess. There he is on the back. Hey. I had also seen the miniseries before I read this. In fact, I haven't even finished it yet. I did borrow it from the library a few years ago, but I didn't finish it at the time. It was far too thick, and I was so scatterbrained at the time. It's not even funny. So, yeah, with the bookmark, you see I'm not even halfway through. How pathetic. But, yeah, it's a pretty good book so far. And yes, I know about the, certain scene at one point, but I haven't read it yet, so I can't really say anything about it. But, yeah, so that's what I'm making progress with so far. Okay, let's see what else we got back there. I'll just reach for this one over here. Okay. This is another book of short stories. 14 of them, it seems. And it also contains 1408, which, as I'm sure pretty much everyone knows, it was adapted into a movie starring John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson. It was also very good. I really liked it. And actually, looking at it now, it was actually very inspired by Silent Hill 4 Room, and actually the original short story was actually part of what inspired Silent Hill 4, and I think that's really awesome. And it's not surprising either, since a lot of the elements in the Silent Hill games had Stephen King to thank as an inspiration for it. The Mist being just one of them, really. So anyway, yeah, I haven't read all the short stories in here yet. I believe I did read 1408 at one point, but I honestly can't remember it. I know it differed very greatly from the movie, since the movie had a lot of Silent Hill 4 inspiration to it, and this was more psychological. But yeah, I'm gonna take a look at it sometime soon again and see how it is. Alright, next up, I'm just gonna move the tripod a little so I can access the books back here a bit better. Raise it up. Alright, next up is this is a collection of books that were adapted into movies, which is why it's called Stephen King Goes to the Movies. It's a collection of those. It's got, let's see, sorry, it's a little out of focus there. Over here, it's got, as you could probably tell, it's The Shawshank Redemption. I saw that movie in 10th grade. It was wonderful. I have yet to actually read it, and I want to watch it again sometime. It's also got as you can see, the doorknob, 1408. I'm sorry that you guys can't read it. Also has, what's that on the bottom? Just a second. Oh yeah. The one on the bottom is Children of the Corn. I haven't seen that yet. I should probably check it out. The next is The Mangler. Haven't seen it nor read it, let alone heard of it. And finally, Hearts in Atlantis. That was made into a movie? Huh. Because I actually have a copy of Hearts in Atlantis, and I didn't know it was made into a movie. There's a lot I didn't know that was made into the movies. So yeah, like I said, this is a collection of some of his novels that were adapted into films. Okay? Alright, next is The Long Walk. Again, one of his Richard Bachman works. And yeah, I've read this book twice now. I read it a few years ago, and I didn't remember a lot of it. And I recently read it again a few months ago, I'd say. And yeah, all I can say is you can really, really feel the creepiness and the tiresomeness of all the characters in there. It's okay. It's not my favorite of his works, but it's definitely okay. Sorry about that. So where was I? Oh yes, I finished with The Long Walk, and next up is The Shining. I have seen the movie a few times. I really should watch it again because it's really been a while. And I've gotten to read The Shining. I think I actually read it in high school, I believe, a few years ago. I don't remember, but yeah, I've finally got it, actually. I owned a few Stephen King books for a while, especially in high school, and then I haven't owned this book, but I've seen the movie, but now I've got it, and I have to read it and watch it again. Oh boy! So yeah, we all remember The Shining and how awesome it is. Oh yeah, and Jack Nicholson, you are awesome, my good man. Yep. Alright. Next, we have Rose Matter. I have read this book, I think, 2 or 3 times. I completely forget. But yeah, it's actually a very interesting and compelling story with the psychological aspects of domestic abuse and also fantasy and supernatural, really. A lot of it is very grounded in the real world, but then the fantasy and the supernatural elements come into play, and quite an interesting combination in how it seems almost so natural that it can happen, you know? And the cover, I'd say, kind of creeps me out. Yeah, just, yeah, and Rose Matter, it's always been the name of, and Rose Matter is the title of a painting in the book, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I last read it. Wonder if, it's been a while since I last read it, really. So, yeah, that's Rose Matter. We also now have Firestarter. Yeah, so Firestarter, I know there's a movie of it. I haven't seen it, although I have to admit I'm very curious, too. So, yeah, this is Firestarter. We all know the story about, Charlie McGee, who is a pyromaniac. Well, you know, she's able to start fires. I read this book a few years ago, years ago. I think it was one of the first I've read, aside from Cujo, which was also one of the first I've read. I don't know which one came first, Firestarter or Cujo. It might have been Firestarter, I forget. But I read it once, and to be honest, I don't even know if I finished it or even followed what was going on. I was a sucky reader back then. But yeah, back then I didn't know what the hell was going on half the time, but and when I read it again, a couple summers ago, I think, I really followed the story and got to know what was going on and the characters, and it's a very good story. It really was. So, one of these days I'm going to read it again and maybe check out the movie adaptation, see what that's like. Okay? Okay, next is The Dead Zone. Well, I gotta say, it's been a while since I started it, but I never quite finished it either, or even got very far in it. I was kind of lost a lot of the time, and I didn't even know what was going on. I know there's a TV series, mini-series adaptation, I totally forget. I know there's one up on TV somewhere, but I haven't seen it or watched it. I just heard a bit about it. Actually, I even think it's probably a little loosely based on the book rather than complete adaptation. I don't really know. So that's the Dead Zone. I'll probably check it out later, see what happens with that. Okay. Alright, here's the last, well, not the last one right now. I have more books to share. This is Nightmares and Dreamscapes. Pretty creative title. Anything with nightmare in it these days has my attention, but yeah, this is Nightmares and Dreamscapes, and actually it was also adapted into TV, and I haven't seen the show yet, and I really do want to, because I heard it's pretty good. But yeah, this is a pretty creepy image of this, I think that's the sun and the moon, and a couple of stars, but yeah, these are, but yeah, I haven't read these yet. I really probably should, because I heard they're pretty good. So yeah, this is Nightmares and Dreamscapes. And finally, to conclude part 1, I have, okay, this is a big one, guys. This is Under the Dome, which I love. I actually heard about it through People magazine in the section where they're okay, this is very heavy. Hold on. I'm just going to set it down so you guys can see it, and I'll angle the camera better. Okay. Back up a little. There we go. Because, yeah, this is very, very heavy. Look how thick this monster is. And, yes, I have read it. The whole thing. Cover to cover. I really should read it again because it's very, very good. And, there's a lot going on in this book, and there's so many characters in there, and you either love some of them or you hate some of them, which goes well because you're either supposed to love so-and-so and hate so-and-so, and it works very well. Okay, holding it there, and the cover alone, I love this cover. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. With the dome covering over the town, and there's the barn house, and there's that church, and all those trees, and a little gleam of light, the hills and trees in the background. It continues on the back. In fact, I'll take off the jacket and show you guys what the full image looks like. But yeah, I am absolutely in love with the cover. I know it's all consisting of photographs, and it was edited to fit the dome and everything. So yeah, this is the entire image. Let me just angle the camera a bit better. Okay, that's not quite good. Alright. There you go, that's the entire image. We got on the back it's got the sign for the Sweet Briar Rose Diner, which is one of the focal points in the story, and all of that is a plane that crashed into the dome. See the smoke rising up and see it all down there. In fact, all the smoke and the plane crashing is actually a very, very important plot point. And there's all the houses and the buildings, and there's the radio tower. The radio tower is also very important. So yeah, the jacket cover is absolutely gorgeous. I am in love with it. I can't help it, I guess. But yeah, this is Under the Dome. And it is very good. I highly recommend it if you're into unexplained supernatural things or science fiction. You can never really tell what it is, and I will not give away the ending, but we do find out what caused the dome, or at least how it got there and everything. But yeah, like I said, I'm not spoiling the ending for you. And the jacket covers also continue into the inside over there and over here. Also very nice. So yeah, like I said, this beast is really heavy. Let me see how many pages it is. It's over 1,000. Let's see. Yes, there we go. 1,074 pages. Yeah, and Steven's definitely had a few big, huge books in his lifetime. Okay, so that about concludes part 1 of my collection of Stephen King novels. I still have quite a few to show you. So I will continue that in part 2, and see you guys.